Hi everybody, it's Paige Michaelis, the 1 Minute Mommy. Today is our weekly parenting tip, and our tip today is just say no. I don't know about you, but I find it hard to say no to certain things. I certainly don't like to deal with the whining that ensues when I do say no. I want my kids to be happy. I don't want them to be the only child who doesn't have a certain thing. But what the research is now showing is that when we actually say no to children and we put our line in the sand and we establish those boundaries, our kids are developing the resiliency skills to be able to carry them through adulthood. So it's very important to say no and to put those limits and boundaries down firmly around certain things, as hard as it may be. So how can you get clear about what you really should be saying no to or what you should be saying yes to? One of the ways that I did it with my family was to evaluate our family values. And basically what that meant is looking at a list on the internet, a list of values, and collectively my husband and I came up with a list of our top 10 family values that we wanted to share with our kids. And what I learned from that is that nature is one of my values, and yet we were doing very little out in nature. So I wasn't living my values in that regard. But how it helped with the kids wasn't just to go to parks more or anything like that, but it really gave me a firm understanding about the things that I was okay with saying no about. So that's why we have pretty firm limits on screen time, because one of my values around that is that they're more out in nature. So to me, it feels more okay to say no to lots of screen time because one of my values is that my kids are out in nature more. So I encourage you to look at a list on the internet, come up with your top 10 values, and then once you have done that, have a family meeting. Have a family meeting with your kids, discuss what your family values are. And then collectively, hopefully collectively, and sometimes maybe not so collectively, but come up with some rules, some expectations, some boundaries around those family values. So one of the other big things, sometimes I feel like I am the only parent who doesn't let their child go to PG-13 movies, and that sometimes feels kind of weird for me, but, well, my girls are only 9 and 10, but the main thing around that is that one of my other values is to keep my children younger and not exposed to that stuff, to the violence and to the sex and all of that. Not right now. So waiting until they're older, that's another one of my values. And so when I get pushback from them about the fact that they're the only kids that have not seen the Hunger Games, I share with them that that's one of our family values. So having a family meeting around those values is also very, very helpful. And then the third thing is that once you begin to establish these values and these boundaries, there's going to be pushback. So I encourage you to breathe, to really be able to stand firm in what your values are and realize that there are reasons now behind why you are saying no. So if you need to reiterate to your child, hey, this is one of our family values, and granted that might not be exactly the same as the neighbors, then just do that. Reiterate it, listen to them and their concerns, understand that there might be feelings around it, but also if there's a lot of whining and crying and explosion around the nose, you might need to ignore it as well. And then one of the best ways to say no is to really just say, I love you, and the answer is no. So I hope that that helps. There is a list of family values on my website if you'd like to take a look at that at oneminutemommy.com. And I hope you have a great day. Hope it helps. Take care.